What the hell did you do to comedy? We were having such a good time, and you had to go and ruin it. For all of us. I made a graphic. Cost me a total of 4 hours, and the rest of my dignity. I call it the Bermuda Triangle of modern comedy. No matter the format, stand-up, sitcoms, or movies, comedy just can't catch a damn break, can it? Because if your jokes lean left, you get branded woke. If you swing the other way, punch down on minorities and toddlers, you get cancelled. And if you try and play it safe, straight down the middle, your jokes fall flat. They get written off as being sanitized. And worst of all, you get called a filthy, fence-sitting, flip-flopping freak. Poor little comedy. All he wanted to do was make you laugh. And now he's crying in the corner. Petrified to even say a word. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Alright, comedy. Go hang out with Uncle Deadpool. He'll look after you. Unlike you guys. Deadpool's a really interesting one. Its fourth wall breaking antics gave birth to a whole genre of superheroes who can't go 2 pages of a script without reminding us that they're in a fucking movie.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Like, we get it. You like post-modernity. But guess what? Shut up! But that's besides the point. For some reason, we have a whole onslaught of movies now being labeled as comedy when they're outright not. Maybe I'm just an old, jaded, stupid idiot that doesn't get it. Personally, sometimes this whole vibes-based comedy with the whole post-ironic, fourth wall shit, the whole wink-wink, nudge-nudge humor.
What? You're so pretty. I'm not stereotypical Barbie pretty.
Note to the filmmakers, Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast if you want to make this point.
There's too much of it. Wayne's World gets a hall pass though, cause that movie's untouchable.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
But for the rest of you lazy copycats, y'all can suck on my dick. Wolf once said, "It's show business. No show, no business." And comedy seems to have taken that to heart. Just put a couple of jokes inside of a drama, call it a comedy, and walk away with 4 Oscars. All of this genre blending does make me wonder though, are we seeing comedy hide in other genres because it protects the jokes from backlash? To prove our hypothesis, we need actual statistics. But I couldn't find any, so let's move on. Before the algorithm entered the chat, things worked differently. New stand-up comics had to spend months writing their material and then lug their butt over to the local open night where nobody knows them and earn their stripes, 1 gig at a time. Turn up often enough and people start noticing you. And if you're really good, then you graduate from the open mic nights and you work your way up onto the regional circuit. But then a weird glitch in the matrix happened. Now, you can build your comedy career on TikTok or YouTube first, then hit the clubs with an audience already in your corner. This way, your fans already know your weird little quirks. They're quoting your in-jokes. They've even built a bloody parasocial relationship with your dog. Venues love this because you can guarantee that you'll fill seats in advance. Because you're bringing your own crowd, not hoping and praying that randoms will just show up. It's not like going this path is some sort of cheat code to success. Like the algorithm might not even start pushing you for years. Maybe it never does. But, my dear viewer, you're a smart cookie. You know there's one surefire way to get the algorithm to notice you. First question for $100. What type of content does the algorithm reward the most? A. Wholesome family content. B. Educational tutorials. C. Unbiased and balanced social commentary. D. Ragebait. Well, Regis, I've been on the internet long enough to know that the answer definitely isn't C. I'm gonna lock in D. Ragebait. Final answer. That is the correct answer! You just won yourself a plate of spaghetti! Thought you said $100. I said spaghetti! Did you get it right? Well done. Proud of you. So the algorithm loves strong polarizing takes, right? No surprise. And creators know this. Doesn't matter if they actually believe it or they're just farming clicks. Works either way. Once again, You diddle right down the middle. Might help you sleep better at night, but good luck getting the algorithm to notice you. You just get ignored. Like a middle child. Naturally, this has pushed the internet to a sort of ideological swamp. But in that smelly, festering stew, you've got a big-ass iceberg floating in the middle. Zoom right into the political layer. You've got it all. Let's be honest, it's much easier to break all this down into left and right, though. Because the algorithms have trained us. Anything beyond binary thinking leads to... Oh, my head hurts. The algorithm didn't just fragment comedy. It turned the whole thing into a battlefield. And guess what? Comedy's losing. Historically, left-leaning comics had the advantage. The underdogs, punching up at establishments, war, oppression, inequality. But today, and it's funny how the pendulum swings, the right is now perceived to be the rebellious voice. And now it's a clusterfuck of a situation where they think they're punching up at the status quo, but the left see it as minority bashing. Left-right doesn't matter. The algorithm rewards outrage on both sides. Meanwhile, we have the networks, caught in the crosshairs, and about as useless as the United Nations in this whole analogy. Like Netflix caught loads of flack for sucking up to the left, flying the flag for equality and cancelling comedians. But do we really believe that Netflix is out for the greater good of society? Do we really think they're sitting in their $1 million mansions, feasting on gold leaf macaroons while lying in their zero-gravity meditation pods? Twiddling their little thumbs going, ooh, how can we bring more love, peace, and joy into the world? I don't know. If you ask me, I'd hazard a guess that they're just playing it safe so people don't cancel their monthly subscriptions. By the way, y'all keep training the algorithm to show you more of what makes you mad. And then you go and blame the other side for it. There's no conspiracy happening, folks. You're doing it to yourselves.
When you see something online that makes you mad, stop. Remember that the person who posted the content is going to profit from any kind of engagement that you give them.
It feels like this whole algorithmic stuff has kind of split comedy into factions. So instead of one big homogenized city where we're all laughing together and quoting the latest Chris Rock special, cracker ass cracker, today we've got more of these like ideological suburbs. Each has its own neighborhood watch, unspoken rules, and mouthpieces. Little communities thriving in their cul-de-sacs of Twitter groups, Discord servers, and subreddits. Tim Allen can make his comedy special for conservatives, Hannah Gadsby can make hers for progressives, and Joe Rogan can ramble for the libertarians, and Amy Schumer can make her comedy for... Amy Schumer! And none of them have to compete for the same audience, or find common ground. Win-win, right? Sure. If your idea of utopia is a world where everyone lives in their own isolated pockets of worldviews and only interacts by insulting each other in the comments section, pronouns. Capitalism. It's a lovely evening. You ever noticed how comedy's so polarizing these days? Like whatever happened to balanced and nuanced takes? He's crazy! Kill us, protect the children! We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming for this urgent public safety announcement. A highly dangerous individual has been seen terrorizing society with viewpoints that encourage people to just get along. What a loser. How's the situation over there, Charlie? It is a really dark day for society, Tom. The authorities have just now confirmed that women and children have been moved to a safe location while the perpetrator has been apprehended. The real question still remains, Tom. How much longer until this dangerous rhetoric starts corrupting our youth? Do you remember the mid-2000s? Mainstream comedy kind of felt like it had a home, right? Recurring collaborations, a distinct style. It was known as the Frat Pack era. You had a bunch of the same dudes, Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell, showing up in each other's movies, creating this shared universe of hilariously memorable quotes that we'd all repeat to each other during recess.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
It was a beautiful time. A time when comedy felt like a tight-knit neighborhood. Crews of friends who were friends with Cruz, cruising along the comedy coastline with Terry Crews. The modern day equivalent? Nothing. We have nothing like this anymore. It's completely gone, at least as far as Hollywood goes. Here's my crazy take. I think that YouTube now fills that gap. Commentary channels like Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, Chad, Gabby Bell, they all pop up in each other's videos, they riff on each other's jokes, and it has that same community comedy vibe that people might be missing from the old Frat Pack era. Question time! What makes the world go round? Money! The cold hard truth, the bottom line of why modern comedy feels different, just comes down to money. Flops overseas, really. Other genres, though, if they flop at home, there's still a chance they could make a buck overseas. Like horror works universally. Everyone loves a good ghost story, especially Asia. Action films? Universal as hell. Car go vroom vroom, explosion go boom boom. But why did comedy get so axed from being a major cultural export for America? Surely it's a global language, right? We all love to laugh. Well, it was. 20 years ago, US content dominated, and studios got comfy, knowing that international folk will just eat up anything with Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler on the DVD box. We really saw the USA as the pinnacle of media quality. Like, I grew up in Asia, and I knew more about American geography and events than the damn country I lived in. Today, streaming networks are eating into box office profits. YouTube is bigger than ever, and Asian dramas like Squid Game are competing on a global level. And with the cultural context not being so dominant anymore, the jokes started to fly over international audiences' heads.
If this car drive into a group of gypsy, will there be any damage to the car?
With comedy, context is everything, right? Like, you put an out-of-context clip of Borat on TikTok. It looks like a tone-deaf bigot going around America. Shoutouts to all the crews dubbing comedy into other languages. That must be one of the hardest jobs in the world. Not only do you have to translate the words, but you basically got to do linguistic gymnastics to make sure that the jokes land and don't offend anyone. Like, sarcasm is downright offensive in countries like Japan and Korea. So even when it is translated well, yeah, overdub Fast and the Furious, that's an easy job. Everyone knows what vroom vroom is. Fun fact, they call it wild speed in Japan. But yeah, it just spiraled from there. Writer strikes, bad reviews, humor becoming more polarizing. By around 2016, it was time for Hollywood to face the music. Big budget comedies weren't paying the bills. And why risk $100 million on a comedy when you can pump out another Marvel movie guaranteed to work everywhere? Or just reboot a franchise on the cusp of the 20-year nostalgia cycle. It's always guaranteed to work, isn't it? So what have we learned today? Maybe not that comedy is dead. It's just different.
What a crazy difference!
I really wanted to dive into how generational differences shape our taste in humor. Fortunately, quickly realized that it was going to drag this video out to about an hour. I will turn this into its own video though, so if you do want to check that out, you know what to do. Blah blah blah, something something, subscribe. But if, like me, you enjoy observing this cultural circus we call life, why not check out this video next?